Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my first review video. I will quickly review the first week of the LEC, talk about the games, about my predictions and what I think about the settings as well. First game, Mad Lions vs G2. G2 won that. They won it convincingly. Nothing really to talk about. G2 played that game very well, as expected. Second game, Vitality vs Schalke. Vitality won that game, which was for me kind of surprising. I thought it would be the other way around. I thought that Vitality would look shaky and Schalke would look quite good, but it was the other way around. Vitality looked quite good and Schalke looked very shaky. But I also said in my preview of the first week, in my prediction video, that Vitality could also win. That I wasn't sure how the teams will perform, especially at the start. This is obviously quite difficult. Next up, Origin vs SK. I said this would be an easy game, easy win for Origin, but Origin lost. They looked pretty bad, and SK looked pretty good. So that was surprising. As I thought SK would also look not particularly great, but they for sure looked very good, very promising. While Origin, I thought that they probably only had a hiccup, but they had to play against G2 after that, so it for sure would be a difficult weekend for them. Rogue XL, I was also wrong. I said that XL would win either versus Rogue or versus Mad Lions. They won neither of them. Rogue looked pretty good in that game, while XL looked pretty bad. But I also said that Rogue should be the favorites going in. I just thought that this would be the upset. The upset didn't happen. The upset happened one game before the SK won. So yeah, normally my prediction would have been Rogue, but I thought this would be an upset. And Fnatic Misfits, Fnatic won. I thought it would be quite an easy game for Fnatic, but it wasn't. Misfits played really good. Misfits basically threw away the game, so that they looked quite promising. While I felt like Fnatic for sure looked shaky, not as shaky as for example Origin, but they didn't look great. And then after the first day, I changed up my predictions here. These were my initial predictions, and those were the ones I made afterwards. These 5 I made after Friday, and these 5 after Saturday. First up, Schalke vs SK. I predicted Schalke to win because I thought they would look good and SK would look bad, which was wrong obviously. SK looked good, Schalke looked bad, and I also changed up my prediction to SK win, and they also won as I was expecting. They looked very, very good, I feel like. But Schalke looked really bad, and if they don't change up how they play, then I think they will be 9th or 10th. Rogue versus Misfits. I thought Misfits win. I thought Misfits looked pretty good against Fnatic, and they basically threw away the game, as I said. Rogue also looked pretty good, but I still thought that Misfits would have the upper hand. I was wrong, both with my initial prediction and with my prediction that I made after the first 5 games. Rogue looked very, very good, while Misfits looked pretty bad, and was kind of interesting that a lot of teams were very shaky. Origin was very shaky, Fnatic wasn't looking good, Misfits now looking not that good either, Schalke obviously also not looking as good as I thought. Mad Lions in the first game didn't look too good either, but then on this game they looked pretty good. They won against XL, who played very bad in all of their 3 games, so I have to see how they will perform in their upcoming weeks. But I thought Mad Lions would win. Also after after Friday, I thought Misfits against G2, that doesn't mean anything, and XL looked pretty bad. So I thought Mad Lions for sure should take the win, which they also did in a pretty convincing fashion. Fnatic vs Vitality, I thought would be an easy game. Fnatic should win this in my initial prediction, and also in this prediction as well. Fnatic played for sure better than on Friday. Didn't look too shaky. They didn't make too many plays, which was kind of surprising for me, because I always felt like they tried to do a lot early game, but it was for sure enough. They didn't really seem that Vitality had any chance here at coming back. So very, very good game from Fnatic. And then last game, G2 vs Origin. I thought Origin looked bad, G2 looked good. G2 has to take the win, but of course another team that looks pretty shaky. G2 lost, while Origin looked pretty good. G2 obviously looked pretty bad. I didn't thought that G2 would lose, but apparently a lot of teams are still trying to figure out what they want to do and how they want to play the game, which was obviously kind of expected, but I still thought that yeah, a lot of teams would still win their games, sort of like I was expecting. And from on the last day then, first up SK versus Mad, I thought SK would win because they didn't. I said SK would either win against Schalke or against Mad Lions. I predicted they would win against Mad Lions, which obviously was wrong. So it was the other way around. SK won against Schalke and then lost against Mad Lions, which I also thought. I couldn't believe that SK would go 3-0 in the first week. So I thought Mad Lions they have to win. Wouldn't make. I mean, I just didn't thought there would be a way that SK goes up 3-0 and Mad Lions would be 1-2. I thought Mad Lions would take the win, which they did. They look better than SK, but I still think SK shows a lot of promises. They won against they won against a top 3 team and they lost against a top 4 team, and then they won against a top 9 or top 10 team. So we have to see, but they for sure look good, and they for sure could be a playoffs contender if they can keep up the pace. Obviously, was wrong with my initial prediction, but I changed my prediction up to Mad win. And then Schalke versus Rogue. I predicted Rogue to win. Rogue looked pretty good. Schalke looked pretty bad. I thought that Schalke would win against Vitality and SK. I thought that actually Schalke has the easiest schedule, but they didn't win the game. So I think that Schalke for sure looked very, very bad. And I would say that if they don't win a game on week 2, they will be last. Otherwise, I think they will be battling with Excel for the last spot, because the other 2 teams that I would say are down there as well are SK and Vitality, who looked very, very good. And I don't think that Excel or Schalke can beat any of the other teams, or at least like consistently beat teams like Misfits, like Mad Lions. So I don't think that Schalke or Excel will be better than 9th. Origin versus Misfits. I initially predicted that Origin would win, but after seeing all of the strange results, I thought that now Misfits has to win the game. Misfits can't go 0-3. I predicted them to go 4th ahead of Mad Lions, and if they would have been 0-3 then I don't know if they would be able to finish 4th. But yeah, Misfits again looked pretty good. Was kind of similar game to the Fnatic game, while Origin didn't look that great. Kind of like the SK game, not as bad as the SK game, but I think they all looked pretty bad. Then G2 is Vitality. I thought there would be another easy win for G2, another way to recover for G2, but Vitality, for some reason, played incredibly well. I would say their best game so far, better than obviously against Fnatic and also against Schalke. While G2 again looked very, very bad, just like against Origin, but I would say that they looked against Origin better than against Vitality. Of course, unexpected. I just hope that that G2 can pick themselves up, because otherwise it would be quite bad going to Worlds with a bad G2, I would say. And then Fnatic vs Excel. I thought another easy win for Fnatic, which they also did. Pretty convincing fashion. Excel, as I said, with Schalke looked pretty bad. I mean, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 predictions correct, and if we take those into consideration, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is better, but both not looking too good. I hope now in the next week that I will get some more predictions correct. I will take 9 next week. Obviously, only 10 games played, so 9 correct predictions would be quite nice. But looking at the standings, surprising for me. Schalke, as I said, negatively surprising. Origin, Misfits, G2, all 1-2, but all showed some very good gameplay. And I think if they can consistently play as good as they showed they could play, then I think these 3 teams will for sure be very, very good. Vitality SK, very surprising that they played so good. And I'm very curious how they will play the next couple of weeks, if they can keep up their momentum, if they can win more games. against the likes of Mad Lions, Rogue, maybe upsets against Fnatic, Misfits, Origin, then I think that they will be playoffs contenders. Mad Lions, I don't think that there's a lot to talk about. They won against XL, they lost against G2, they won against SK. They look solid. Nothing specifically outstanding for me. Kind of, as I said, expected. Rogue, on the other hand, they look pretty good. I predicted them to finish 6th, and yeah, that looked pretty good. If they can keep up the momentum as well, I think that they will. I mean, for sure. I anyways think that they will be a Worlds contender, but if they keep up their form, then there will be for sure a very good chance that they go to Worlds. Fnatic, I didn't expect them to go 3-0, even though I predicted it, but normally Fnatic isn't looking too good at the beginnings of splits, but this time they look good, and I think this is very, very promising for Fnatic, that they may be able to finally win the finals against G2, but maybe we'll have another upset, maybe Origins in the finals, or Misfits, Mad Lions. I think there are a lot of teams that are looking pretty good, and I would overall say that at the moment we look to have 8 very good teams and 2 pretty bad teams, and if the 8 teams can fight it out, then I would say at the moment Fnatic looks the strongest. I would say that G2 looks very strong. Origin, Misfits, they look pretty good. Rogue as well, Mad Lions, SK Vitality a little bit behind them. But yeah, that's how I would rate them. I hope you enjoyed this review video of the first week from the LEC. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time.